I was murder mystery.
Good. Hey, Chris, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. It's great, it's not loud. Yes. All right, next, we're getting going away, sorry. Sorry for our technical difficulties. I guess we don't have a certain number, so I'll play that role, so let's stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. All right, four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First.
Is it true?
Second.
Is it fair?
Third. Fourth.
Will it be beneficial?
Fifth.
Is it fun?
Chris.
Yeah. All the things.
Yeah, all. All right, welcome everyone. Eileen.
Yeah, today's quote is, and since it is the giving time of year, it comes from Mother Teresa. It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. They're reading.
Yes. Well, Victor's
Kind of,
getting more than you, so.
I'm trying to become a member of the club.
Yeah. Gary's
Well,
back now, so you can work with
Chuck-
Gary on getting your membership transferred.
Yeah, we can talk. Okay. It's easy.
Well, you've had a lot of practice, so you can do that. Our speaker today, Mary,
ready.
aka Dr. T.
I have a hard stop at 8:30.
Okay, we'll get going. Birthdays, Rochelle, her birthday was, yesterday. And
Howdy.
Danny is today,
He's
so
out, he's traveling.
traveling, so hopefully he's enjoying his
Oh.
birthday. Anniversaries, we don't have any this week. Rotary anniversaries, Ken Collins is, 23rd, 16 years. Announcement, so, Tracy sent an email out last night about Joyce's home. She is taking visitors, she is in a hospital bed, upstairs, sounds like she has a beautiful view of the lake in Mount Pilcha. And she has a 24-hour caregiver, so, if you stop by, there'll be some caregivers there, Audie and Sia. So,
Hey, Ron,
yeah,
I went up to the hospital and saw her when she was there. She had, obviously, she had a stroke. It's a hard time communicating.
yeah,
I think yes and no questions, and she gets frustrated.
yeah,
And so when I was up there, I didn't know what to do, and, so she gets frustrated and I understand why.
Yeah.
Patients go, so
Okay,
just stop by and realize that.
keep it simple,
Just sit with her, right? Like, just be
Yeah.
present.
Pardon me?
And just sit and be present is often very kind.
speed with it.
So don't try to call.
Yeah, stop by. So if you don't, her address is 1321 Springbrook, so I think everybody knows where it's close. All right, and then announcement, our next two meetings will be at the Buzz Inn. Holidays,
And you took attendance at the last one, right?
yep. Yeah, I did. It was packed house. Let's do reports. Lori?
Well, things are pretty good. I printed out the balance sheet. We have, anybody isn't aware, there's two entities that are associated with our club. There's the club that's for the benefit of the members, that people think we do. And then there's the foundation that does all our charitable work, our scholarships, our supporting other groups, our fundraising and that. In the club, we have, about $6,500, but we're in good shape there, which is good because we pay dues twice a year. The district, I think. And And then in the foundation, we're pretty flush right there right now. We're at 57,000 in checking. And, about 24,000 of that has been already earmarked for scholarship. So that's where we stand on that. Dues are gonna be due again in January, so watch your mail for invoices.
Dues.
Dues.
Thank you. Gary, the world traveler.
I have no idea when the next board meeting is. You and I need to talk and determine if Wednesdays are a problem.
Okay.
And then the only other thing that I really have is, the district conference, registration discount ends on 12/31/24. So if you're thinking about going to the district conference, now's the time to register. I've got to do that. That's all.
O'Brien. Public services.
So I sent a card out to John Spencer, get well. I haven't, did your daughter, son have their kiddo? Okay, you'll need to notify me so I know. Okay, like just now, just like.
Yep, well,
Okay,
Tuesday.
thanks. And then I'll probably send a get well card to Joy as well.
Okay.
And that's really all Raquel and I have kind of talked about, we're already working for Corks and Cakes next year, and we kind of talked about certain locations. There's a couple that we were thinking about that are not an option, so once she gets back next year, we're gonna figure out where to have it, and then we'll give you a date, and then we'll move on. That's all I got. Oh, and let me know, people, you guys can start that or whatever, please let me know.
What do you think about sending Joyce some flowers?
Well, we sent her a couple of bouquets. We sent her one when she was in the hospital the first time, and then I hand delivered flowers when I took her to lunch. So I don't know. It's up to the club. What you guys want to do?
Flowers are fine.
Okay. I mean, it would be nice over
Yeah.
Christmas.
I think this is a much more serious, I mean, she's not even out of the hospital dozens of times.
Yeah.
5 years, so this is like a more serious.
I agree with you, but again, it's not my money, and so I want to be respectful.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Flowers are perfect.
all right, I'll
Might be
make
nice
sure.
for her when she's, look at the bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, maybe just something festive.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you. Kyle?
Community services, Rochelle is not here. She is in Perry. Bob Foundation, no Bob. Chris, anything on international?
So international, they had a board meeting yesterday that was pretty good last night. And they're moving right along with some of their new projects. They've had more money come in from special donors to help facilitate some of their operations and things like that of new projects. It seems to be going pretty well. There is a trip coming up in February. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. And we can probably get somebody to go. That'd be great. If not, that's the way it is. And I think Brett at one time mentioned, they're trying to get computers and things of that sort to fulfill some of their needs over there and internet service. They do have cellular service there that they're working through to get all the students internet access. So things seem to be moving quite well over there. Good group of people, and that's about it.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Have you recovered from being murdered?
You must be thinking that I'm Bill Loney, but actually I'm Bob Marley. Anyhow, yes, I have.
Membership, Kyle is not here, Raquel's on a boat. Occasional services, Kristen or Lance, no, programs, Kendra, anything on programs?
No update. Hey, girls. We don't have meetings the next couple weeks, and then we have the Recovery Coalition for Snohomish County coming in January, so that'll be cool.
Kendra, did you see the email, introducing you to Kathy Solberg?
Yes, I did. I'm in talks with them.
Good, I just want to make sure I got it. Thank you.
Yes, awesome.
All right, Rand, how many?
So those of you who ordered Yeti mugs, those came in. And just because I'm so concerned about public image and how we look, I wrapped your mugs for you. And being a man, I used what was readily available to me to wrap, so I don't want to, you know. It's actually painter's tape. Well, anyway, no, it doesn't have, we don't have anything else for public image.
All right, Sergeant at Arms, James, you're not here, so I guess I got the,
Ron?
oh, Jim will do it. Oh, now,
Scheduled another, blood drive with American Red Cross in this room on January 31st. So we'll have a quick turnaround at the new year. I'll take care of most of the things. We probably will need a couple of volunteers that will read folks. Not really all you have to do is read them. January 31st, Friday, right after our meeting. So it's basically 11-ish to 4-ish.
January 31st.
January 31st.
You're looking at that.
I was trying to find something to write it down.
I'm trying to put that
On my
on.
calendar right now. I'm on my now that.
Thank you for that, that's awesome. All right, Jim,
Does Gina have a question or is that just a few?
it's just,
Hey, Mr. Hobbs,
Oh.
since you're in charge of elections, I'm gonna put you in charge of bronze.
Oh, okay.
But you can't draw your own ticket.
I would love to win.
It happened.
It's happened
You probably will.
It's happened before.
Ticket, okay. Last three are
Hey, Ron, any chance we could rotate the camera, please?
618. Hey, you're interrupting. 618. 618. 618. That's too bad. Just go right ahead.
Thank you.
I know I knew. I can't, I'm never a winner.
Oh, really?
If that's all involved, the Mormon always wins.
Oh, $21, okay.
Oh, that's too bad.
there we go.
All right, so if you don't have your white Rotary badge or a Rotary pin and the one on your badge doesn't count. Doesn't count.
For gay.
Why? Because I said so. Just like you. I don't have to. So let's, so we can get, Dr. Templeton on, let's do, fines and happy bucks at the same time. So, sir, are you happy?
Certainly I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm happy that 2024 is ending. Looking forward to 2025. 2024, a crazy year from everything from having a stroke, moving up here to Washington, and being another grandparent.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I know you're fine for being late.
Okay.
And
This is all as if we're going to trust everybody for everything.
Yes,
Yes.
and speaking of 24, 25, I saw this thing and I wanted to share. So 2025 starts with WTF. Right, from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you know
That's not
what
I thought that
that
was.
typically stands for, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what is 2025 gonna bring? And then they put a positive spin on it. What if WTF means, wow, that's fantastic.
Oh.
So that's what I'm going with.
That's fantastic.
Very nice.
Thank you, Mrs. Claus.
People are like, "Tell me more about my eyes." Well,
You want to join this club?
I'm just happy I got a chance to make it back. for one.
Okay,
Make it back one.
No, done.
you ready?
I'm just happy I got a chance to make it back here for one
Yeah.
and looking forward to the next one.
Road warrior. Ready?
Couple happy bugs.
Okay.
holiday season happened, we're a little wild and crazy, but going well, and I have enjoyed the holiday party. All of you know, for planning that was a lot of fun.
You know that Visa card in there?
Yeah, that was to be my.
Oh, got
Okay, I know where my rotary pin is, so only $1 for that. I don't have it with me, but I do know where it is. And then I have 2 happy bucks, and one is for the holiday season. We are getting, my daughter and I last year, we had just watched Taylor Swift Eras concert movie, and so we were fairly inspired. So we went out and bought every sprinkle at Safeway, and so I have 27 bottles of sprinkles, and then we made Taylor Swift Eras cookies. And we went like the opening. If you went to the concert, you saw the opening. She was like pink and blue, that sparkly dress. Anyway, that's the first cookie, and it goes through the progression. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm also happy because the board decided to rerun the bond. I'm happy about that because it gives us a chance as a community, another chance, a second chance, if you will. So I'm happy. That's all I got, everybody. And then there's more from me in a second. So.
There's more?
Always go back.
Send it all right now.
All right.
I'm feeling the love. All right, so, one fine dollar, because I'm too lazy to walk back out to the car to get my name badge. I'm Lori. Woo, Lori. And then, $5 because we've been decorating for Christmas, and putting lights up, which is really funny because we're way out there by Mount Pilchuck at the end of a country road, down a 300-foot gravel driveway, but we've got the house split.
Spread up and running.
Well, you might have to get him a red star for Christmas. I'll put that again.
General Hobbs?
Yes. There's a dollar for my fine. I have no idea where my pen is.
Tell you something.
And this is a nice little break before session. Unfortunately, I have to do for college homework, so that really sucks.
You have your name badge on.
I do, it's right here, but it doesn't have the
Yeah, they said or.
pin.
That doesn't count.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have-
Oh, you're tough.
No,
Darn right I
It's
can.
not bad.
but it's true.
That's cheating.
Hardball, very hardball.
Thank you.
That's what you get for being sorry in arms.
I just can't even.
I'm proud of you.
I have $1 because I left my name badge in my other car. But I have a $5 happy / gratitude buck. So I'm happy it's Friday. I'm happy that vacation starts at the end of today. And a little bit of exciting news. We've been looking for another vehicle for since May. So I found what I looked for. So yes, Gary, it actually happened. But it's a new wheel, which is why my name has to be in my other car.
Is it a Tesla?
No, it is not a Tesla.
I'm Jim.
Hi.
Val, nice to meet you. And what brings you here?
Well, actually, these two lovely ladies,
We're stopping
No.
here.
Yeah, well, good. We're glad you're here.
They said I should come by. You're like a fun group.
Yes,
That's right.
that's a great lucky.
What, for where are you from, what you do?
Well, I work with, life insurance and retirement
Where's
planning.
it done?
I've been asked that.
No.
Thank you.
We'll try.
My wife works in fashion, so she.
Dresses you up, okay.
Just keep us back and. Not working fashion?
You're still fashion.
Anyway,
Yeah, oh yeah. I have my badge. I don't know what his pin is.
rotary pen?
Yeah.
You should have got a rotary pen when you joined the club. There you go.
I got a new car a few months ago. It's a electric Honda Prologue. And I drove up to the mountain pass all by myself the other day. And I had 60 miles to come home and I only had 43 miles on my battery. But I was able to coast down the mountain.
There
and
you
I
go.
made it home. The numbers kept switching, like the distance I had to go and the miles I was gaining, I was making money.
Dude, I do not.
Okay, Lauren.
I'm like,
Yeah, thanks, Lauren, for your report. Girl,
I need home.
We'll reinvest the 5 from the ducks. All right.
I'm happy because I took an actual day off on Wednesday and I'm skiing under my Safe Space Whistler. And then I also wanted to, so if you don't know, Cara has a little side gig, making signs. So I got this for my son Jace, who graduated from GCU last week, and that's gonna be his graduation present.
It
Yeah,
You're like,
like,
that.
It's like technologically heavy. Yeah.
Cool. You didn't make me an M7.
Is that a sales pitch?
I'll show you.
I threw promo out. Yeah.
Hey, you're correct.
Brand?
$10. I'll know where my badge is when I find it. And, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hey, aloha.
Aloha, 11 days in Tucson. I got to see Bill and Diane Demarudis. I had lunch with them. We did, Bev and I did. And then we drove down to Green Valley and had lunch and toured Larry and Linda Saint's home. So we got a couple extra days to have some fun with some Rotary.
You didn't know Larry Saint, you missed something.
No. His wife, Helen, would shut up.
That's Larry. I don't even.
And then 10 days in Maui. My nephew is the food and beverage at the Westin Hotel in Lahaina. It was both depressing, but it was also energetic to see all the activity that was going on. The stores were busy. The Westin Hotel was really busy. And people were smiling and people were very friendly. And so from a standpoint, they're under recovery. The big projects are getting done. The houses and stuff like that, I think they're way behind and they're trying to get their money and their results.
Abandoned tree. I heard it was doing okay. Coming back.
I didn't see it. The funny thing is there was an artist that had done the banyan tree that we found and we bought it, and he said, bought a couple of pictures from him of the banyan tree, and he said, I did this 6 months before the Lahaina fire. Funny thing is he said, I didn't think it would ever sell. He said, now I can't keep them in stock. I'm selling those like crazy. So I think that tree got destroyed.
Well, I read an article.
It was still,
that it was starting-
it was still there.
Yeah, I read an article.
We didn't see
The
it.
plane was coming back.
I think we were looking up at the small little houses that were up on the hill. That were where people were living. Next time when Amelia's back, ask her because her husband's family was all from Lahaina. So she has a lot of content over there.
Speaking of that, has anybody heard from Amelia, Sarah Johanna's brother's doing? I sent a card, but I didn't want to call because.
Amelia's traveling. I can't remember.
I think she's in Arizona. I think she's visiting her son.
Okay. Should I call her? I don't know.
Okay, Zoomers. Chris, how about you, buddy?
Hey, I'm pretty happy. I think I'm finally getting on the tail end of a cold, so I'm feeling a lot better. And I'm looking forward to Christmas and happy Hanukkah to everybody that's out there. And I guess I'll see you guys at the next meeting. Maybe
Awesome.
buzz in.
Yep.
Yeah. James.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Jim, for filling in. I'm trying to get some last minute stuff done, ready for work activities too during the break. Looking forward to hearing Mary's classification talk. Happy holidays, everybody.
Awesome. You too. Kendra.
Happy it's Friday and entering into like Christmas break for the kiddos. Some parents like lament the breaks, but I actually really enjoy them and we get to spend time together and do a lot of fun things. So yep, happy all around.
Excellent. Hey, Gina, how about you?
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I will Venmo everybody for Happy Bucks simply because our entire family is home from college and all over the world, and my parents will be coming next week, so it'll be a good time to have family together and have a nice break.
Anybody else online? Typing?
Yeah.
He's doing more things.
So I know Ron's happy.
Yeah.
I know for a fact he's
Here's my
happy.
sign, and here's a happy 20, Tuesday, grandbaby number 2 came into the world.
Very cool.
So we had a great time at the hospital. We had a wonderful helper who kept us in the loop, and even though we're like nosy mother-in-laws that were, had their ears to the door. So when the baby was born, Amy came running out to tell us, but they came running, it's here, and they were sitting there right in the hospital, peeking in, so.
Our kids told us not even get near the hospital. We'll tell you when he's here.
What?
Yeah.
Pretty different today, kind of.
Well, it's different if it's your daughter or daughter-in-law. Yes.
Yeah.
So I have some happy bucks. Our little guy who's 2.5 weeks old, spent a few days in the children's ICU. Had some complications. They did a spinal tap on him for meningitis and it was negative, but I can't imagine a 2.5-week-old getting the spinal tap. But anyway, he's home and recovering well, so happy about that. So,
Hey, Jim, before you walk away, would you go stand over by that screen so we get a look at you and Chris together?
Hey, Chris, my brother Chris. You gotta grow this, buddy.
Your brother. from
What's
another-
this now? I know it. I'm thinking about it,
Debbie thinks we're related.
but I have to sleep in the garage if I do that.
Fortunately for you, we're not related.
Great.
Thanks, Jim. All right. Well, without further ado, Mary,
All right,
aka Dr. T, is
that
gonna
would be me.
give us our classification
Okay.
doctor. You
My
need-
entire life is on a cookie.
Okay.
I just get to start by, thanking you for having me, classification talk, and then just give you a slight amount of history on my knowledge of classification talk. This is my 7th year as a Rotarian, so the Camas Washington Rotary was my club for 6 years. I'm very, very happy to be here, and I think about the Rotary class often, as I lead in public education, and there's 10,000 children right now, not quite yet all, in classrooms, but soon they will be. And I think, gosh, dang, what do we hope for them as they are with us today? And this is the last of the 4th grade. I hope that, that truth is at the center, that they know that, honesty is important and that they are able to, understand what truth is and they're able to critically think about what they believe, what others believe, and figure out how do we navigate together through that. I think about, fairness. Is it fair? Is it fair on how we treat each other? Is it fair on how I show up? Is it fair on how I plan for my future? Making sure that things are fair. You know, goodwill, better friendships, that really is at the core right now in our society. Now more than ever, I think we lack the ability to connect to our humanity, to connect to one another. So that is something that's really important to me professionally and personally. So as I lead Lake Stevens School District for 10,000 children, I want to make sure that they are making good eye contact with each other, connecting, making good eye contact with adults, and talking about who they are and why that matters. And when we all come together and we're all different, and that's actually a good thing. We come together, we can be an excellent community and excellent citizens for the future. And then at the end, it's beneficial. We are all counting, I know I am, on those 10,000 children for the future. They will be our taxpayers, our voters, our neighbors, our business owners. They will probably take care of us as we move into the end of our lives, because that does happen to everybody. Sorry, that wasn't the happy book. That's the reality of it again. So I'm thinking about that as your superintendent. Classification talks. What was the history of that? So way back in the day, Paul Harris, who really was the founder of Rotary, it was a club for community business folks. And I'll say businessmen because back in the day, this is like turn century, men were the ones who were in business and leading. So bankers and merchants and architects and those other sorts of things. And so they would come together and they would want to know from each other, what is your business and how can I connect to your business? So that's where classification talk came from. So and there were certain types of businesses that would be brought into the club, because we had, everybody was an architect, it wouldn't be as exciting or interesting, so there was this classification. That's long, long, long in the past, but that's where it came from. So the purpose is really, can we get to know each other, and from a business perspective, but also from a personal and human perspective, I think that is the modern classification talk. I will, side note, women were allowed in the club, I think it was in the eighties, I think, like 1880s, no, actually 1980s. Okay, coolio. All right, so thinking about, that, I am, a female leader within your community, and I actually am leading, the largest, employer in Lake Cleveland. I'm proud to be here, I'm happy to be here, and, I'm thankful, very thankful to be here. So let's go to the beginning of the story. Mary Templeton, who are you and how did you get here? I was born in the Portland area, was raised, went to Lower High School, which is the Beaverton School District, so that's kind of where I grew up, in the Portland area. I went off to University of Oregon, was very happy to be there and graduated from UO. During my time at University of Oregon, I was lucky enough to do an exchange program with the University of Stuttgart. So I studied in Germany for a year, and my major was German. I started off, however, at the University of Oregon as a theater major. So my family, arts is what we do. That's how it's always been. So I played piano, vocal, guitar. My sisters and my mom, they're classical musicians. So my sister Dorothy actually works in Issaquah now, but she was the music director in the Mead School District for a long time. She's a violinist. My sister Patty is an opera singer, and so is her husband. They went to Eastman School of Music. So there was a lot of competition when I was growing up for practice space, because somebody was singing over here, somebody's playing piano over here, and somebody is practicing their violin over there. So it was a very music was really important in the arts, and my mother is violinist and was a violin teacher. So that's where I come from, and that's how we were raised. That's why when I went to University of Oregon, theater was really part of what I had been doing in my very first show was Theater in the Grove in Forest Grove, Oregon, and I was in a miracle worker, and I think I was like 8 years old. So theater was always interesting to me. I enjoyed it. Musical theater was my favorite. And when I was at my senior year in high school, I did have a lead in the play, everybody, I did, and I was Mabel from Pirates of Penzance. I'm not sure if everybody knows that, all of it. It was lovely. Anyway, so I went off to UO, I'm a theater major, and it was delightful. I so much enjoyed that. It was an excellent program. There was a moment in time, however, where I thought, well, I'm headed to Broadway. I can act, I can sing. I was working on the dancing. And then I sort of had an epiphany that there was something deeper. There was something maybe bigger or more meaningful that I wanted to do. Love performance, love the arts. But that's when I went to Germany, that opportunity came up, and it just changed the trajectory of my career. I wanted to do something that was more meaningful. I didn't know yet what. So I finished up there, and then I met my husband in California, but he was from Spokane. My family was, what were they all doing in California? I thought you were from the Oregon area. Yes, we were, but the art took them first to New York to pursue opera careers, and then took them to the San Francisco area to continue pursuing those careers. So that's where my mom was, and she was there as well. So I got them at U of O, my now are right here. So I went down there, and that's where my husband from Spokane had also moved down there looking for his next opportunity. We just fortuitously met one day, and I looked at him first, and I thought, yeah, whatever. And then, but then he was funny, and I went, well, let's see about that then. Anyway, so that was the beginning of the Terry and Mary show. We were, and it's very interesting. So my husband passed away about 5 years ago. And I always think I'm not going to cry, but when I talk about it publicly, I just tend to get a little emotional. So we had a lovely life together. We raised 3 children, Tyler, Nick, and Brenna. So Tyler's 28, 26 is Nick, and then 24 is Brenna. I was on a schedule every 2 years we were having a child. Anyway, he was a lovely human being. He invested greatly in all of us, and he's met. So we were down there. We got married in California, and I was like, what do I do now? I have a German major and a theater minor and an English minor. What do you do with that? Thinking I better be making some kind of money. I make a ton of money, doing translation for German. So I thought, wait a second, we want to have a family. I know what I'll do. I'll be a teacher. Yeah, that's it. Now, I was not that person drawn to become a teacher and an educator because at a young age, I was the one that played, school, and I wanted to read to all the little dolls. That wasn't me. No, I was like, no, I don't have time for dolls. I got bigger things going. But I thought I need a career. So what happened is that's how I was pulled into public education. I went to California State University, got my teacher certification, and I started my first job as an educator in California in the industrial school district. And what happened is after I had only been there very briefly, I realized, wait just a second. Wait, this is meaningful. I have an opportunity to impact high school kids every single day, and they are lovely. They are so enjoyable. They are that spot in their life where they say, I have such high hopes for myself and others. I would love to know what you think about me because it's going to matter to me in the future. And just that investment in the joy of learning, the joy of being positive, and the joy of supporting other human beings as they launch into their next step. I loved it. And then I was able to actually bring in those other things that I loved as well, which was theater and German. So I was a German teacher and I did immersion. So I only spoke German. That was it for I don't know, the entire day I never spoke German. In fact, I'd run into my children like at the Safeway. It was only German. Hallo, wie geht's? Na, oh yeah, deine Haare, ganz schön, that's attractive. And they're like, because I was doing immersion, I wanted them to always have that experience and have it be engaging and real, and meaningful. So anyway, they actually, I think one day I was in the hallway and I was talking to a colleague in English and I think my children were shocked because, oh my God, yes, I do, it's my L1, my first language. But anyway, so that's what I did, but when you're thinking about creating an environment where it's immersion and it's exciting and it's interesting, a little theater might come in handy. So that's how I started the day, every day, and it was a story about, it was always in German, but it was a story about me and my life and my children and what they were up to, and my husband and what we were doing together. And I had to use a lot of physical, miming and acting. And then we did a lot of singing in German. We danced in German. So I was able to be, in a sense, on the stage. So one day when I write my memoirs, maybe I will, who knows, but here's the title. I was headed to Broadway. And then I was to. Now I played a very off Broadway show for 15 years as a classroom teacher. I also taught theater and produced theater down in California. So that was that's how the career began. At some point during that process, I decided it was a good idea to get my master's degree. Not because I thought, oh gosh, I want to leave the building, because I was busy raising 3 kids. We were, he was also a teacher and a coach. And so we were like, just barely heads above water, trying to keep everything going with raising 3 children who were involved in, they were runners and violinists. So that's what we decided to support them. But anyway, at one point I thought, I need to move over on the salary schedule. That's why I need to go to Eastern Washington University to get my master's degree, and so I can get moved over on the salary schedule. Interestingly, we were sitting in class for my master's, which I have a master's in history of education. So if in case you need to know anything about education, just come let me ask me. I probably don't know. Anywho, but I was sitting there and one of the professors said, have you ever thought about being an administrator, about being a principal? And I said, no. I said, I am teaching full time. I have 3 children. No way. And within like a week, I was enrolled in the principal certification at Eastern. So it didn't take a lot for someone just to see me. It happened to say, I see you. And remember that in leadership in public education, the women are not the majority. So for superintendents in the state of Washington, there's about 300 districts, and women are leading about 25% of those districts. So that's kind of been the narrative. Interestingly, when we think about public educators, and that's the same, by the way, that's the same metric for the country. So that it kind of hovers around 25%. It's an interesting concept, as I think that my male counterparts, excellent leaders, not saying they're good, they are so good, and they have done excellent work. But there is something about the voice coming from my perspective that I bring that I think is really needed right now, which is empathy, compassion, understanding, connection. Those are things that, from my perspective, because of who I am. I think I bring those things, and I think that's needed. So I'm very happy to be in the position. But the interesting part about educators is that the majority of educators, so that was classroom teachers, principals, and superintendents, the vast majority, about 70% are women. So that's an interesting component. So it's something to think about. But anyway, there I was just gonna move over to the salary schedule, and then I became, a building leader. So then I did, a little small detail, I forgot, moved back to Spokane, and joined Spokane Public School. And Spokane, I think they're about the second largest. So I was there for 15 years of my career in Spokane, navigating a fairly large, complex, urban, yes, not like Seattle, but complex organization. So started out as a classroom teacher, then I was building leader in 2 different buildings. And then I went to the district office, and I led the HR department for Spokane for 4 years. That was interesting work. Interesting work. So, and then from there, I decided it would be a good idea to get my superintendent certification and my doctorate as well. So I went to WSU during that time. And so when the time was right, and my last child graduated from high school, who actually went off to DCU, so I got look, yeah, yep. So I thought, you know what, we're a bit mobile. The children are off doing their thing. I went to Central Washington University, and went to CLU as a loot. Anyway, I don't even know. Okay, but anywho, so I thought now is my time. So the opportunity opened up down in the Vancouver area for the Washington School District. So that's where I went, and I was very, very fortunate and happy to be there. So I led in the Washington School District for 6 years. I call it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Again, everything is novel with me. Remember, I had that minor in English. Okay. So I walked in the door to that particular position, very excited. Very excited. I'm here, I'm so excited. Woohoo! What we got going on? And it was like, well, we're going on strike. Okay, well, and it was and it had been brewing and boiling. This is McCleary. McCleary happened, which is a different funding mechanism for schools. And there's just a lot of energy around that. So I'm moving right, it's perfect timing, good timing, Templeton, good timing. And things were already to that spot where the region, so Evergreen, Vancouver Public School, Ridgefield, we were all going on strike. We knew that it would happen to be. So I went, all right, giddy up, let's go. So during that process, here's what I learned. At the end of the day, no matter what we're arguing about or what we have conflict over, if we lose sight of the fact that we are all on one team, we will never come out the other side whole. We'll be broken and fractured. So that was something I thought I knew going into that, and so I practiced that. And there was a lot of other districts at that time that were, because the media was very interested in all of it, and they wanted to know, what did you think and what's going on with negotiations and why you're on strike. And there's a lot of folks that were, well, we met with the union and we were very disappointed, and we were very disheartened. And I'm like, not one moment will we ever say anything negative about our teammates. What we will say is that together we can. Together we are working through this very complex challenge, but I have confidence in my team, and that includes our teachers and our leaders. And together we will figure this out. And we did. And then when that was over, the healing process was not ginormous because we never broke. Because we always said, I see you, I value you. And by the way, I want you to be compensated well, because I have such big ideas for what we're going to do together. So high compensation, but high expectations at the same time. So that was just a piece of something that I learned when I was in superintendent. So, Corona. I remember hearing, and do you even remember that's what it was called initially? I'm like, that's a beer. I'm pretty damn sure, because I did some experimentation when I was in training, so I think I about that. And so then, global pandemic, what do you do with that? And then you move into a kind of a social civil construct where we, as a society, are arguing about, like, what do I believe and what's true and what's not, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, school's right in the center. So that has been a very interesting challenge. And again, back to the beginning, which is, we are a team. We are a community. I have 10,000 children that I serve, and their parents, and their families, and their grandparents, and whoever else is maybe shepherding their share. And from a political perspective, and we are not political, but from a political perspective, I have people that believe, this, on the side of the, spectrum, and I have people that think the opposite. Everybody in between. So my job is to listen, I hear you, I see your perspective. And the opposite, yes. Hear you, and actually you've got a point as well, because everybody does. And so then how do you take that and come to a balance point and keep everybody moving? Keep moving and, lead with the humanity. Lead with time. So that's why I go back to the, fair, good, better, positive, kind, helpful. So those are the things that, that are important to me as a person and as your leader, for the students. So that is the educational journey. That is the career journey. That was the family journey. I just wanted to leave you, with, just a couple of things that I'm working on, as your superintendent. So I can't believe how lucky I am that I was picked for this job. It's an excellent job, and I knew that when I applied. And I was like, wow, I got this job. This is so great. This community is special. And I could tell that when I first was looking at the students. And I could tell it even more when I arrived on campus, if you want to say it that way. But now that I've been here 6 months, I'm like, yeah, it's special. It's special because of the beauty, the outdoor beauty that is here. That's important to me. I love the outdoors. And it fills my soul on the morning when I'm driving in. At 25 miles an hour, and this morning someone behind me was crazy, because I was anyway, diving in the desk, so I go check, let me go. But I get to look at a lovely lake, morning as the sun is rising, and that's pretty. And then, of course, the thing that I didn't quite know until the winter hit is the mountain ranges. Holy cow, that's nice. Just love it. So that's the first reason. The second thing is that this community actually cares about each other. Down at the farmers market is where I first started to see that. And I was there every Wednesday for the month of August. And what was interesting is the people come through and I see them, I watch them. They talk to each other. They talk to strangers. They have their animals. Everybody's interested. Somebody right next to me is selling homemade jam. I'm like, oh wow, that's super cool, as you know. I mean, how is that possible? There's 43,000 people. So congratulations, Claire. Nice job. Nice job. So that is something that I need to make sure from the school district's perspective that I don't lose sight of, because that's really important. And the other part about that is that we are an excellent school district. We are. We just won again another state 4A championship. 2 footballs in a row, and now we have a soccer for our girls for the first time. That was the first female state championship for us, so that was super cool. But friends, that doesn't happen every day. And that's what I'm able to bring with a different perspective. Is like, yeah, it's great, but isn't it like that every day? No, it's just not. It just isn't. Everybody win the 4A state championship every year? No, they don't. Look at public schools for 15 years of my career. Washington for 6 years of my career. Also, I worked in Idaho for a couple of years. I shouldn't have edited that out of the story. That was a lovely experience as well. It doesn't happen. It does not happen. But it does here. It does here. So with that said, my job as a superintendent is, and this is what I'm working on, is when I think about the foundation for excellence, which is that strategic plan, when I go back to the player, the beneficial to all that is the strategic plan, because the 10,000 children, it's not one. It's not one family and one kid that says, oh, don't do that. Don't make sure that my kid has success. Don't make sure that I'm included. No. There's no, everybody, because we are human beings and we have a need to be included and seen. So that is a big task to make sure that 10,000 children are seen and launched positively into our community, so they can become those great neighbors, taxpayers, voters, good people as you drive around the lake. Do not tailgate you when you're going to the speed limit. So that is what we have to hold on to. We have to hold on to that we have excellence in the school district and in this town. And together, when you have a strong school district, you have a strong community. So I believe, and I didn't do it, I did 6 months, so my job is to come in and see it, steward it, and keep that foundation for excellence, keep plans moving forward, and making sure that I'm partnering successfully with all of you, the community, and with our students, and with them here, that's my job. Because we can't lose the excellence, and if we don't know why we're excellent, we run the risk of not keeping it going. And if there's places where you have to improve it and you don't acknowledge it, then you'll never get those 10,000 children, each of them, each and every single one, that bright future. So, with that said, we are, again, like I said, with my Happy Bucks, we are going to bond again. Because when the infrastructure is invested in the community and you have strong resource buildings and programs, that's when those 10,000 children will be successful. And by the way, when they're all successful, and they vote and pay taxes and all those big things, they also have high property values, and so do you and so do I. So those are some things that are important as we think about that investment. So if you have any questions about the bond, if you have any ideas, please let me know. And again, at the end of the day, this is an excellent school district. I am blessed to be here. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be part of the Lake Stevens Road. Yep, I meant, yeah, sorry.
What, is the date of the bond issue that you selected?
Yeah, so February 11th, so it's coming up very quickly. We have almost 60%, it's 58.3, right? Right there. So a couple of things that we heard in the survey, and we got 4,000 comments, we read each one of them, and what we heard is, we heard a lot running again, because there's a lot of people, 15,000 people said, yes, we know we need it, yes, strong schools, we need a strong community, yes, that's the quality of life we want to maintain. So we heard that. We also heard folks say, yeah, tight economic terms, we understand that, we get that. We're asking for $314 million, that's a lot of money. And people wanted to know, what exactly are you buying with that? So we've added a lot of specificity, and really what we're buying with the $314 million, we're buying basically 4 schools. We're gonna remodel and expand 3 schools, and it's almost as expensive to remodel and expand as it is to start from scratch. And by the way, we don't have a lot of other properties starting from scratch, so there's that. And then if you did, what do I do with 3 schools with the children when their buildings are being built? Oh, I know, American View House, Howard, and North of View.
We'll take them all.
That's right. So anyway, so that's the big cost, and we're building one elementary school. So that's where the money's going. It is not cheap to build. It's about $650 per square foot to build something for public education. It's actually, yes, and the state, by the way, gives us about $250 to help with that. And thank you very much. We will take that money, and we are grateful for it. But we can't even get any of that unless we pass the bond, and then you have to apply for grants to get that money. So that's our plan. So we heard lots of information like that. We also heard, is 50%, that's a super majority? And Steve and I were talking about that. Yeah, it's still the super majority. Most things in democracy are a simple majority, 50% plus 1 vote. This is an exception. We are advocating with our legislators and a couple things. That would be one. Could we move that to the simple majority? If it were that, our 58.3 would have been a significant success. So February 11th, to your question, we're running it again. It's the same amount of money, but there's a slightly less tax impact for 2 reasons, two main reasons. 2023 is when this whole package was put together. And you're basing your funding package on economic status of 2023. Interest rate has come down, and came down again this week, so we're taking that into account. We also have great credit. We've been really, really responsible with our money, and so we get a better credit rating. But mostly it's because we have more growth. So think about that $314 million being divided by everybody who pays taxes. But if you have more people, that just means everyone's share is smaller. So it's not free. It's still $314 million, but at the end of the day, it's a little bit less than what we were asking for the bond with sale. Not a lot, but a little bit. So because we heard that, we tried. Yeah. Can you tell us just a little bit more about your children? Oh, yes, I would love to. Okay, so Brenda Templeton is a lovely young lady. She is creative and artistic and very, very funny. She went to Grand Canyon University, as I said, halfway through was when her father passed away, so that was really kind of chaotic. So, we brought her home, to Spokane, where she went to Eastern Washington University quarters, all the while during COVID, because that was right when all that happened. So she never even set foot on campus, and a lot of children at that time were like, I don't even know what my purpose is, and I don't think I can just sit in front of the screen. You know, that's how important our schools are, because we come together as a community. So from that, she decided to look into some other things. So she's in the process right now of deciding her future. I think about you being a nurse, and I said to her, you would be good with that. So what she's been doing the last year is she's been helping my mom, her grandmother, who actually was in hospice, but now is out of hospice. I'm not sure if we've had that experience in life. They're like, okay, what are we doing here? But Brenda has been her caregiver, and she's really quite good at that. So I said, hey, why don't you become a nurse? So she's thinking about it. That's good. Nicholas Templeton, all right. He's 26. He's at the University of Houston. Again, he went to CLU. When the children were young, we did say, hey, let's not major in the arts all, y'all. That's what mom did, you know, and that's what I'm always thinking. Being an artist is very joyful and fulfilling, but sometimes you don't make as much money, right? Looking at some of the relatives. So we're like, please do not major in the arts. And of course, they all listened to me because Tyler, who's my oldest, he went to Central Washington University, and what did Tyler major in? Film. Perfect. And so that's what Tyler has a job. He's got a day job, so he gets to pay his bills and live independently. He doesn't need my money. Gracias, Senor. And then he is running his own film company, which he's a writer, a producer, and a filmmaker, and he does his own music. He also was a violinist, so they've got that skill. Great. So thank you for listening, older one. Who did not, and he was in Chicama. Another reason why I want to get closer to the Seattle area for this job. Anyway, so he did not listen about like what to major in, and then Nick at so what was Nick's major at PLU? What was it? Oh, that's right. Poetry. Perfect. All right, great. Yeah. Oh, no, I know, right? So he's at University of Houston right now, and you're thinking, oh, he's studying engineering, right? He's in Stanfield. No, it's poetry. No, it's MFA, Masters of Fine Arts. So, anyway, he's so creative. He's so smart. He's also very athletic. So he was a runner. He also did boxing. So anyway, so those are the three children. Love them. And when I think about my teammates who work with me, they, like me, have that family, and it's important for us to balance. And I'll just close with this. Sometimes our jobs, your jobs, my job will trick you into thinking, it's the most important thing you can do. Again, it's fulfilling, and yes, it's important, it's critical, as I spent the last half an hour talking about. But at the end of the day, it's over here, your children, your health, your mental wellness, that is really that's where your life is. So that's an important thing for all of us to remember. So I think with that last thought, balance. As we move into the holidays, we spend time with the family. And that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah, I gotta get right.
One thing really important about that vote is people have got to show up.
Validation.
You got to get validated. 40% of the previous vote.
Yep, so it's 11,000.
So 11,000 people have to show up. You can get over 60%, but if only 7,000 show up, doesn't matter.
Correct. Anyway, so we're again launching another social media campaign. We're doing signs around town. I'm gonna be asking businesses not to put up a vote yes sign. That's not my work, it's not my job. But I'm gonna ask folks to support Lake Stevens schools just in general. And we're doing a I love Lake Stevens schools campaign. So we're gonna ask folks and businesses, would you put up a sign? Would you be willing to support us? And again, I think about those free back-to-back state championships that we won, and probably next year, free volleyball, that's my best guess, and maybe football again. Yeah, we appreciate the support. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna head upstairs and take a shortcut. So, all right. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, that'll wrap it up. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, Chris. I'll see everybody hopefully at Buzz In next week.
I'm gonna plug into the side if anybody wants to get it.
Awful. You're gonna love it. You got that little tiny one, really crazy, you know.
Yeah, buddy. Enjoy your,